Hello friends, I'm Lich and today we're looking at 5 new cards from the Wilds of Eldraine that have me extremely excited. And we're going to do it in under 5 minutes. I'm looking at these specifically with an eye towards Commander. Let's get into it. First up we have Agatha's Soul Cauldron, a 2-mana legendary artifact at Mythic. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate abilities of creatures you control. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creatures exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And then you can tap, exile target card from a graveyard. When a creature card is exiled this way, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So, at a floor you have a bit of color fixing in targeted graveyard hate. Even without purposefully building around it, this will slot into almost any 1/1 counter or Hardened Scales style deck. You can simply exile dead mana dork and you have a board of mana dorks. You can exile an opponent's creature with a strong ability, now it's yours. Personally, this will be finding a home in my Rocco Street Chef deck. You can also do some fun jank. Exile Grist the Hungering Tide, as it is a 1/1 insect when not in play, and Planeswalker abilities count as activated abilities. Add in something to give 1/1 counters on ETB, like Tribute to the World Tree, and now you have infinite insects to do, I don't know, whatever infinite insects do. You can also use some cheap transformers like Town Gossip Monger or Heir of Falconwrath to flip all your Praetors or a Volden Pariah. A few flips and everything will be sacrificed, and you're bound to find some other nice things to exile for additional abilities. Next up, we have Sir Ginger the Meal Ender, quite the flavorful card from a lore perspective. Another 2-mana artifact, this time a 3/1 legendary artifact creature, Food Knight. Sir Ginger the Meal Ender has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker. Whenever another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. 2 and tap and sacrifice Sir Ginger. You gain life equal to its power. A 3/1 for 2 colorless is a pretty good body with all upside. Anti-planeswalker synergy with treasure, blood, power stones, food. Unsurprisingly, this will be going in my Rocco deck. This will likely be strong in many decks that are sacking the aforementioned tokens. If you are running the Cavalry Charge Knight Tribal Precon for March of the Machines, you'll be wanting to pick one of these up. Or I guess if you're running any Knight Tribal for that matter. Moving on to card number 3, Kellen the Fey-Blooded. A 2/2 legendary creature, Human Fairy, for a red and 2 colorless that comes with an adventure. Birthright Boon is the adventure portion. 1 and a white. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it and put it to your hand, then shuffle. Kellen himself has double strike. Other creatures you control get a +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen the Fey-Blooded. So yeah, there's a lot of options for Voltron or equipment commanders, but how many of them come with an actual tutor in the command zone? I'm likely going to be building this one myself, and don't be surprised if you see Kellen with Colossus Hammer threatening lethal commander damage on turn 4 at your table as well. I like totals, so this list would not be complete without Blossoming Tortoise. A 3/3 creature turtle for 2 green, 2 colorless. Whenever Blossoming Tortoise enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Activated abilities of lands you control cost 1 less to activate, and land creatures you control get +1/+1. Even if you're just getting a little ramp on the ETB and not getting to attack much with them, this seems okay to me. The last 2 lines of text, though, are pretty unique. You can make filter lands much better. You can activate Nykthos or Cable Coffers cheaper. Now, you can really start to get up to some shenanigans when you can make your creatures lands or your lands creatures. Lava Claw Reaches makes an infinite power creature that you can fling at your opponent's face. Or you can make Skyshroud Elf or Bog Initiate a land with the Shia for infinite mana. I think this will be a fun one to see what combos people come up with. Last but not least, we have the Virtue Cycle, all of which seem pretty cool, but let's look at one specifically, Virtue of Loyalty. The adventure portion is Ardenwald Fealty, 1 white and a colorless. An instant, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Then the enchantment portion, for 2 white and 3 colorless. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, untap those creatures. So you can flash in a knight to protect yourself early, then drop the enchantment for counters and ensuring you have blockers after every turn. This seems like a great fit in many white go wide strategies, Knights Tribal, or +1/+1 counter decks. Rocco, anyone? Maybe some Agatha's Soul Cauldron synergies too? So what would you do with these cards? What other cards are you looking forward to from Wilds of Eldraine? Overall, I'm really excited to start playing with this set in the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could hit that subscribe button, it'll help me out a lot, and I'll see you next time.